One.
One.
0.
Lagging. Lag.
We're live.
Oh my lord.
Hello, welcome everyone to another stream. Today we play Aether games. I already got beaten once, so I'm about to get beaten again. I hate it already, but I also like it. And X today is a little bit crazy, so leave a like and retweet if you're there. Then we know you're here. See a couple of people already joining. I have today a big panel with me. I have Dreadsong from Other Games. We have Funcho from Project Lambo, and we have Rasmus from Planet X. And they're all
Hello.
here to witness me getting beaten by Dreadsong. So thanks for joining. There's a new live X thing, so most likely you can join us through clicking on the top of your X on the phone as well. They implemented that today. That's why all Twitter Spaces rugged apparently. So let's see if we get rugged. I have no clue. I can check on my phone if you guys can see that over here, but I see 6 people already joined. So
Perfect.
looks like it's live. And hey, look, it looks even live on my phone over here. I have a pink banner
Check
now.
too.
So, they're looking nice.
Oh,
I like
shit.
pink. So what are we playing? We play this one here in the private match. Let me share my screen first. We play other games, and I don't want to do the intro because we have the perfect person here to do an intro, most likely. That's Red Song. By the way, shout out to the guys that made it here. Shout out also to the Medieval Empires fan page. We're not playing Medieval Empires now. We play other games, but what is other games and Funcho, Cosmos, as usual, feel free to ask as many stupid questions as you want. I only have stupid questions the whole time. This is a fun space, and then go ahead. Tell us what you guys do and why we should all play.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go too heavily into like boring details with this, but let me actually give you as much of a TLDR introduction to ourselves and the game. So for Aether Games, we're essentially a transmedia company. We're hitting both the gaming industry and the entertainment industry through 2 specific titles right now. One of them being Aether TCG, which we will essentially be streaming today. Basically a card game. Not much I can tell about it from that perspective, from a genre perspective. And then we have like our entertainment front as well, which would be our series entitled Aether Saga. Now, I'm not really sure which one of these should I go into first. Let me actually start with the game. So for the side of the game, for Aether TCG, as mentioned, it's a card game. Pretty boring start to that. Not much you can actually say about like card games.
Well, card games are fun. I like card games. Card games are in basic, I guess, is old school
essentially
fun.
the way we actually function from a game perspective is that we will essentially be taking a Magic the Gathering approach. So essentially, we will be partnering with different IPs, specifically from Web 2, and we will be integrating them into our game. We are quite simple from a gameplay perspective. We're quite familiar. This is actually something I was discussing a bit, or rather, dissecting a bit before the stream actually started, because the question was, what exactly would you compare Aether TCG to? And the answer was, well, obviously, Magic the Gathering from the IP integration perspective, and then Hearthstone, and maybe Legends of Runeterra a bit as well. Another fun fact is that our team actually worked on both Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra. So this is also one of the reasons for which the familiarity aspect is a bit there. We tried to, or rather not tried, but we did put our own stamp on how the game actually works. But at the same time, we kept it familiar. We didn't exactly go down the path where the game is too odd, I guess would be a word for it, for people to actually understand what's happening. I personally played or rather watched a good number of card games, and sometimes different titles or other different studios have the tendency to take this very aggressive, unique approach to them. And what ends up happening in most of these times is that people don't understand what's happening, and most of the times these titles just end up dying simply because people are not exactly interested in learning something that's very
New.
alien or
I hate
very
new
new.
stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to call it like that, you could basically say that, hey, we're basically quite familiar, or rather quite similar to Hearthstone. Although, as mentioned, we have quite a few different mechanics. One of them being the burn mechanic. So you actually receive a couple different charges of something we call burns. And what that does is that you can burn one of your own cards from your hand and you receive its cost back. Obviously, this limited on the amount of essentially resource you have available during that turn. So, for example, if I'm on turn 5, and I spent 5 of my resource playing a 5 card, for example, and then I burn an 8 resource card, I will not be receiving 8, I will be receiving 5. And the reason for that is that on that specific turn, I only had a cap of 5 resource. And in our game, the resources are called Aether. So I didn't want to start with calling it Aether, so I actually give a bit of a context to it. So our in-game resource for playing cards is called Aether, and yeah, it basically counts as our mana. Then adventurers are basically our hero cards, but they don't act in the same way they act in Hearthstone, for example, where each character basically has its own class specific cards. Every single adventurer can play the exact same cards. There's different synergies between tribes. So we have trolls, we have demons, we have dragons. We also have different elements. So we have nature, we have chaos, we have fire, and these all interact between each other in different ways. And obviously, some heroes, some adventurers synergize better with different tribes. Some cards synergize better between themselves. And then essentially, finally, what I would kind of describe as being our game's hero power, the Infernal, also synergizes differently with different cards you play. For example, there's one specific card, Infernal rather, that buffs your trolls and your elementals. So when you play it, it actually starts buffing, trolls, elementals, beasts, but it doesn't have any effect on others. There's also another one that basically silences a vast majority of the board. There's also one that actually destroys everything on the board except for a specific tribe. And this is how different tribes interact between each other. So, yeah, I think it's a lot easier if we just go
we
into
show
the
how
gameplay.
it's working. Before we start, I just want to show you we joined the space together, and I just want to point out that's Rasmus over here, looking like he's 20 years old. He's not looking like this anymore. He's way older
it's
now.
It's bad photo quality that is that's cheating your eyes.
Just want to point that out. Please screenshot this. Yeah. Yeah. So
I'll redo the photo for you one day, Luke. Like I find the same position and put my hair the right way.
Yeah.
I've got a filter for you. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, shit, that's what I need. Now we're talking.
Shout out also to the guys watching Meme Buddy Master and who's that beat happening? I don't know who that is, but
I don't know either.
Yeah. By the way, don't forget to like and retweet, because we're also giving away one stream code in the space or we do the raffle afterwards to check who liked and retweeted, and then in the meantime, I will share Dred's screen now, because he has the cool card pack, so you can see the cool stuff. I only have the noob card pack, so we will do a challenge. So let's do a private match. We used the same code as before. I hope you remembered it. It's 1, 2, 3.
Oh shit!
Don't tell anyone, but now we're already in. And yeah, so maybe while you do that stuff, you can tell me what you're doing, because I will see on the stream what you are doing, and I will counter everything
you will
that you're doing.
You will be sniping me.
Yeah. But
you'll be casually sniping me. So we have the
work.
typical mulligan phase, like right at the beginning of the game. You have the mulligan. You can choose which cards you want to keep, which ones you want to actually replace. I'll be replacing the Blood Tribute, which is essentially a AoE card. So 4 Aether cost deals AoE damage to the board, the opponent's board, obviously, and then also deals 1 damage to each adventurer.
Oh.
And then obviously our starting card. This would be our adventurer, as I mentioned previously. Each adventurer has its own effect. I, for now, am playing with Princess Aurelia, which basically is an extremely annoying adventurer to play against. What she does is that
I have Frodo. Frodo Ragnar.
at the beginning of each of my turns, I'm basically increasing the Aether cost of each of the cards in his hand. Or rather, not each of them, but one random one. So
Can you be the lizard? Are
basically
you the
attempt to
lizards on the sides? What about those lizards on the sides? Can you change
Yeah,
the
so
lizards?
special
these are the Infernals. So these are basically these one-use hero powers that I went over a bit, and essentially they become available from the 4th turn. So you can't
Okay.
use them until turn 4. But when when turn 4 actually comes, they have the tendency to be quite strong.
Okay.
So in my case, I have the Orion, which basically
Yeah.
what it does is that after turn 4, I can essentially use it. I can essentially destroy one of my cards on my board, and then I discard 2 cards from his hand. So
All of them.
extremely annoying one.
You discard all of his cards.
Well, it's
In the
only
end,
2 of
most
them. So
likely.
if it was all of them, that would have been quite painful.
That would have been sick. Then I
You
want
know,
to
that's the same as if you play
Dreadsong.
Uno,
Sorry.
and then you have the draw 4
yeah,
cards.
4 cards up.
Oh yeah.
That's all that.
Dreadsong, I did have a question for you, which obviously you've got, like you were saying earlier, you've got the trolls and the different tribes, and obviously based on what I've seen so far with the amount of cards that you've got there, how many kind of different combinations are there? Because based on what my experiences were with kind of previous card games, you can have a lot of these. I'm just really intrigued to understand how many you've got in this game.
Yeah, so basically we have beasts, we have elementals, we have, well, this is also an elemental, never mind, demons, beast again. We also have fairies, so this would be a fairy card. And then there's trolls, and that's pretty much it. We don't have that many tribes for pretty good
Why is he
reasons. We don't
sleeping?
want it to get too overwhelming, but yeah.
Now he's sleeping.
No,
Oh, they're
that makes
sleeping.
sense.
Why does it come? Why are they sleeping?
Because he just placed it.
Oh. So
So
they're
if
waiting.
you place it, it goes to
They have
sleep
to
mode, so
sleep
you
for a
cannot
night. Oh,
directly
can't
attack.
use it. Ah.
And now I do a attack with this one.
Wait, who are you? Are you at the top, Luke, or are you at the bottom?
It
Hey,
depends.
that's
Wait
He's
1
at top.
second. Now
Lefty guy.
I switched
Oh!
the screen. Now I'm on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so
Now-
basically
now-
the one that's on the bottom
Victory.
is the one that's playing.
Okay.
Or rather the one that was streaming.
But aren't you playing against each other? Are you just playing against a random dude?
No, we're
we
playing
play-
against each other. It's a private
Look,
match.
I'm just showing right now Dreadsong. Now I'm showing myself.
Uh-huh.
Those are
Oh.
two different.
Yeah.
So now you see him playing, and he will beat the guy on top, which is me.
But you can
So
see
here's
his
actually,
cards.
I actually want to
Who's-
showcase how the
Luke's
burn
cheating.
mechanism works as well. And I am very talking like above Luke. Sorry for that, by the way.
No worries.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
So as I mentioned, there's burn charges. These would be the charges you
diamonds.
have for actually burning cards. So I will essentially be playing my Ombre right now, which is a 5
shit.
for cost card. I'm just absolutely shitting on his board. And then I'm essentially going to be burning not my second Ombre, which would be this mechanic. And
Why are
I
you
get
doing that?
its cost back. So now I can play another 5 cost. So there you
Please
go.
distract
that's
him a
really
little
cool.
bit more.
Just going
Because you
fast.
see the timer runs down. Please distract
yeah.
him a little bit more.
I am
Oh, yeah,
very
more
I am
questions.
very focused on the timer. Don't worry about that.
Luke and I had a plan. Luke said, like, please ask a lot of questions. So I have
So you've got a chance to win it, and I love that.
exactly. Yeah.
So now
This is
you
fixed
need to
match.
all be quiet for 40 seconds while I concentrate over here what I'm doing.
Why does Luke have less time?
So Dreadsong, another thing that I wanted to ask, which stood out for me, obviously the visuals and the trailers, they look awesome. What's the lore? What's the kind of storyline behind this? That would be interesting to understand.
Ooh, when it comes to the lore, this is actually quite interesting. I'm gonna cough, by the way. It's really hard to mute myself right now, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, I coughed.
Okay.
Anyway, going into that, I would heavily actually encourage you to start reading a bit into our lore. It's not super heavily developed just yet. For quite obvious reasons, we're not exactly going to do the full lore rundown and then start developing the game after that. But essentially what's happening in the lore of our universe is that basically you have all of these different factions that have been essentially battling each other's for centuries on different planes. So what happens is that essentially at one point in time, different factions did war against each other and they opened a portal to the human realm. And now what's happening is that they are just like, invading into the realm of humans, and there's just like, constant wars between factions. So this would be the very short version of it. But if you go onto our website, you actually have a specific section which is specifically dedicated to our lore. So you can actually read properly through how the events took place, how the factions actually were like, engaging with each other, how the whole thing with the human realm came into play, and so on and so forth. And this is also the lore that actually allows us to take this step, I guess you could call it, into playing the Magic the Gathering card. Because we can basically base it on the idea that, hey, we opened a realm towards or rather we opened a portal towards the realm of Lord of the Rings, and suddenly we have Lord of the Rings cards in our universe. And that's the the lore gray line, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's really cool. It's just the characters obviously look fantastic, and I was just interested to understand the storyline and the backstory a little bit. But you've given a great understanding of that, and I'll definitely check out the website.
Why don't I have people on my side anymore, and you have 4? Don't think that's fair.
Well, technically speaking, it is fair because I just absolutely destroy your board, but that's.
Oh, but you have a million cards, Luke. Isn't it you with all the cards?
Like, look,
you just gotta put them on the board.
If I share my screen, I'm sharing my screen right now. I have 20 cards almost over here, but I cannot play any one of those because he has some cheat codes he's doing. That's how it's working.
But you have 3 of the diamonds. Can you use those diamonds, the green diamonds to the right? How do you use those?
Is that for the burn mechanism that he was explaining?
Yeah, the burn mechanism, yeah.
How do I burn those?
Yeah.
So if you want to burn a card, I'm not really sure if you can actually watch my screen right now.
Yeah.
You basically take a card from your hand and you scroll it over your burn button, and it triggers the burn, animation. So if you let it drop into there, it lets you burn the card and you receive the cost back.
Can you burn all of your cards so it's more fair?
At the same
time, you can only burn once. You wish. Well, first of all, I only have 1 burn charge left, and second of all, you can only burn once. So it's once per turn effect.
Okay.
I say burn all of it, Luke.
Yeah, Luke, do you know what it was there? I think if you're a little bit more subtle, can you just show us exactly how the burn mechanism works again? Just one more time. Again, you might have got a few of his cards gone, but
I don't think the viewers caught the burn mechanism just yet.
Well, I mean, Luke does have few charges of the burn mechanism, so he can definitely showcase that.
Can I only play 1 card at a time? So
no, you can play as many cards as you want, as long as you have enough Aether. No, that's not how you do the burn. Why did you ask me?
You said burn it, right?
Well, I also mentioned the fact that you have to spend your resource first before you can actually burn and receive it back.
No.
What resources? How do you spend the resources?
By attacking, most likely.
That's it. So you press on one of your cards and then you attack the other cards.
I love that.
Didn't catch the burn mechanism. Can you show that again? Okay, I get you.
Well, I can show it now. So that's also
now you're getting help. I love that.
I think someone wants to see the build mechanism.
Okay,
Luke doesn't know how to use it well enough.
All right. So essentially, how burn works. Like right now, I have 7 Aether, so basically 7 resource. Going to be
Where do you
playing
see
a
that?
4
Where do you
cost
see the
card.
7? Where do you see the 7
The
resources?
little icons
It's the little, like,
glowing
teardrops.
up. Yeah.
So now you only have 3.
Now I only have 3 because I spent 4.
Okay.
And essentially, now I'm going to be burning a 4 cost card.
Oh,
And what ends up happening is that I receive
Oh.
4 back. So now I'm back to 7.
shit.
And I
Got
can
it.
basically
And
play
how
another,
many
like,
do you?
7 cost.
Where do you see how much you get? Where do you see how much you get of it? Is that one of the numbers
So you
on the card?
basically get back the cost of your card. So here, I'm not really sure if it's my stream playing
8.
right now, but this is basically
Yeah.
the cost of the card. And when you burn a card, you basically receive its cost back. So right now, if I have 7 max Aether, I can burn like a 7 cost or an 8 cost, and I receive 7 back. So this is also something I basically went over before we started, like, essentially properly streaming. If I have 7 Aether right now, but I burn the Obliterator, which is a 8 cost card,
It's a
I'm not
waste.
doing
You wasted it.
I'm going to get 7.
Yeah, that's what Luke did.
Yeah.
I just burned without having space there.
He basically burned without having spent any of his Aether, and it gets eaten up.
You need to
It doesn't
attack
do
with the
anything.
Aether.
Yeah, 1 second. Now I'm getting a hang of it. So let me share my.
We're seeing you play now, Luke. Oh, when are we seeing you
Yeah.
play? Is this you
No,
now?
I do. This is me now.
I think you
So
have a pretty cool dragon to the left there, if I may say so.
And
No,
was
I'm-
it every 4 turns that you can use the dragon or whatever it is that you've got?
No,
on
it's
the
only
side?
1 time per game.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a special, and you can only use it once.
Yeah.
Understood.
And what was it?
Starting
What
the
does it
4th
do
turn,
again?
you can actually use it, but only once per game.
And
Got it.
what is it does again? Because I need to understand that again. What
So
does the dragon do?
my dragon, which is Orion, basically, well, I'm literally gonna read what it does. Summons a blazing wall to burn one of your chosen creatures. Opponent discards 2 random cards. So yeah, I select one of the cards on my board, it destroys it, and then my opponent is forced to discard 2 cards.
Okay,
it.
so
Okay,
you're
and
basically
other-
trading 1 card for 2 cards.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know that character that you can only use once after the 4th turn. Are you able to have different characters, or are they upgradable, or is that something? that
Yeah,
perhaps
they're
is
not
coming in the-
upgradable, but you
Okay.
have different options. So yeah, you basically have, if I'm not wrong, we have exactly 6 Infernals. I'm gonna check this exactly after the game. So
Okay.
it's 6 different ones that you can choose, each of them with their own effect. And yeah, also, I'm not really sure if you guys actually noticed this, but we actually also have Illuvium cards in our game. And that's actually
Oh.
because of the fact that we have an IP partnership with Illuvium. So I just played the Axodon, which is basically our legendary Illuvium card. And
Awesome.
yeah, Dual F is also an Illuvium card. These are basically cards we made for Illuvium within our essentially universe, which were on the back of a partnership with them. And Illuvium is actually one of our investors as well. So our CEO and their CEO, they've known each other for a while. They've known each other since before we actually started our company officially, which we did at the end of 2021. And as a result of this, Illuvium actually came as an investor into Aether Games before we launched anything.
That's cool.
Awesome.
I
That is
have no
cool.
clue what I'm doing over here. I'm just attacking something.
It's just click, click, click. I love it.
I can play stuff, but then he does some fancy thing with his special cards, and then
Yeah. Dread Song, you've got to give him a chance, man. He's, it's his first time, or is it second time playing?
I played the
well,
tutorial.
I mean, technically speaking, I'm just trying to showcase, like the cool cards, but truth be told, I maybe should be playing with fair cards.
No, that's fine. Then they can see how the cool cards look like, and they see how the basic set looks like that I have. So it's
Oh, that's why he has all the cool cards. You have all the shitty stuff.
Yeah, you never stood a chance, Luke.
That's true.
You know,
You
at
did
least
from
you're giving it a go. You know,
And you did from the beginning.
Dreadsong, did you say there was a burn facility that worked? Could you show us that?
Well, I am out of my burn mechanism, so I cannot burn any more cards. Oh yeah, and
I'm playing, man.
actually-
I'm playing.
I'm actually gonna, showcase this. So I'm out of burn, right? If you
Yeah.
essentially drag your cards over the burn area, it doesn't trigger anymore because I'm out of charges.
Oh, okay. So how many of those do you get per game?
3.
It depends on the side you start. So given the fact that I was first in this game, I only got 2 charges, and whoever is
Right.
second gets 3 of them.
Can you get more? Can you replenish them?
No,
Okay.
not
what
now.
if you maybe you can get a lizard that replenishes them?
Well, further throughout development, we might actually add a mechanic to actually replenish burn charges. But right now, we don't have one.
What I like that you don't have that replenishment is the fact that it makes it a bit more strategic against the player you're going up against. So there's no way they can replenish. So the cards that you're playing and when you choose to use these things can go to your advantage if you understand how to play the game. So I actually quite like it. Yeah, exactly.
That's the key message we're sending here. We understand, but it's with all the trading card games, right? I played Yu-Gi-Oh, like hard copy still, and you could have so many decks that you can put together, and then this featured this, and if you draw those 3 cards together, then you knew you already won the game or whatever. And it's the same with all the trading card games. Like, if you're heavy into strategic stuff, lore and card games, then that's something for you, definitely. Do you also have like physical cards that you?
Not right now, no. But so this is actually quite funny. I'm not really sure if you've seen what our NFTs look like, but we basically have our Genesis Infernals, which are a number of different. Let me actually speak a bit about our NFTs also. So right now we basically have a number of different collections. We have our first collection, which were the Genesis Infernals, and the format that the Infernals come in are basically small statuettes. And at some point in time, we're basically discussing, hey, what if we basically make physical copies of the Infernals in statuette form? Well, this hasn't exactly happened yet, but it might happen, so that's also a thing. But yeah, and now I actually started talking about the NFTs. Everything in our game is an NFT. Everything. Like, you can trade anything. But here's the catch. When you first essentially open any bits of booster packs or anything like that, they are not tradable. They're not NFTs. They're Web2 assets. This is also one of the reasons for which we were able to launch our game on Steam. So we basically had a time frame of roughly a month-ish during which we were on Steam as essentially a test drop. And the reason we could do that is because, as mentioned, our game at base is a Web2 game. This is also why it's very high on the familiarity aspect, and why it's very easy to manage at some point as well. But then you actually start utilizing our token, which, as mentioned, we will be launching at the end of February. Wait, no, I didn't mention this on stream. I think I mentioned it before stream. But yeah, we actually will be launching our token at the end of February. Not exactly sure which day it will be exactly, but it's definitely end of February. And as mentioned, insert a token, and suddenly everything that you own in game that's a Web2 asset becomes tradable. You put tokens into that specific card, because everything in our game is essentially a card. And by doing that, you make it an NFT, and then you can start trading it. So this is also going to be the token sync, one of the main token syncs. We also will be utilizing our token as gas. So we will be having our own marketplace in the game. We won't be, using OpenSea. Well, we also will be using OpenSea and Magic in other, typical Web3 marketplaces. But at the same time, we will be having our own in-game marketplace. And how people will be trading inside our game will be through utilizing our token as gas. So that's not our token sync. But yeah, economies of our token are very heavy, I guess you could call them. There's a lot of thought we put into how our token will function, and it's designed to be a healthy system. It's designed to be like, something that's sustainable, something that actually makes sense. And we basically have this specific resource that most other essentially online games have from the Web 2 perspective, but we just tokenized it. We made it blockchain based so that you can actually more seamlessly utilize it and trade it with other people. So that's the beauty of it.
When are you sending me those packs then over? so
you're
it doesn't.
By the way,
here
there's an
it says
option.
zero.
I'm gonna tell you a very neat trick. You can go to the store, and then you can actually go to the currency store, and then you can spend like $100 and buy 50,000 Aether coins. And with these Aether coins, you can start buying stuff. So
Got you.
there's no option.
I might not do that, but maybe there's someone that wants to do that. But yeah, it's cool. I like that everything is built in over here. Do you want to play another match and I beat you this time, or?
Yeah, wait. Let me. So this time I'm actually matching with a basic deck as well. so I don't have like the unfair advantage anymore.
Okay, I now have an aggro deck over here, so I will beat the shit out of you.
No, I believe in you, Luke. This time, I think it's gonna happen this time too. I can feel it.
Yeah, you have it in your spider.
Today's the day.
Yeah.
I literally do not even remember how the base hero works.
Yeah. That's what that is. Yeah. I don't remember anything, and then like clack, and then I'm dead. Okay. So you said I saw also the Illuvium packs that you have. So when will you have like Medieval Empires packs, Planet X, and Project Lambo packs?
Oh boy, you basically said something that was not supposed to be said on stream. So this is actually something that I think Jens covered this yesterday during our Xborg space, didn't he? But basically, we have all of this different interest from Web 2 IPs. A lot of them. I know that Jens name dropped a lot of the IPs we're in talks with. Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, The Boys, Game of Thrones. These are all IPs that are interested in us right now. So
it makes sense as well because it's that kind of genre. I think you could also get like Vikings and some of these other massive shows that have been on Netflix that would be very in line with what you guys are doing. It's a clever play. I think congratulations.
Here's where it gets a bit problematic, I guess I could say. From a Web3 perspective, let me actually give you more context. We basically also have a multi-billion company that's actually interested in integrating its IP with us. It's actually more than that. We will be their official game developers. I can't name drop this just yet. We will be revealing this towards our TGE, but it's a massive fantasy IP. So
can you put it in the private chat?
No, I'm not gonna.
So you can tell.
I'm not gonna leak it. I'm gonna say this. It already started leaking. So a couple of our KOLs already started accidentally leaking it. So that's also a thing. So if you search enough, you might be able to actually find what I'm talking about.
That means that you can tell us. So
no, that means I cannot tell you because
that means Funcho is now throwing on Google, and
I'm just bear with me. I'll be with you in about 5 minutes. Let me just.
That's perfect. Meanwhile, someone can show us how the burn function works.
Well, Luke can
that's a great
how the
idea.
burn works if he has free charges.
Okay, 1 second. I'll show you.
It's the fire effect is so cool, though. You know, I like that.
I think so too, actually. Like, honestly.
That's actually cool. That is actually cool.
Not just because we want to see it again, but because it is actually. It does look really cool.
It does look cool.
But maybe you can just do one more time, Luke.
No, it's not. It's also not working. You can only do that once a round, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
Got
All
you.
these limitations. So how much?
Sorry, I was just going to
public
ask.
info is
How
public.
can you?
Okay.
How can you tell which turn you're on? So, for example, you were saying on the 4th turn you can use your, you know, your dragon or whatever it is. Is there something
Based on
visual
the
that shows?
amount of Aether you have. It's the simplest way of actually realizing which turn you are. So right now, given the fact that we both have, well, technically I have 5 Aether, but Luke has 4. That means we're on turn 5.
Got you. Okay.
What happens
You get
if you
less every round available.
can you show what happens if you don't do anything in one round and just
No,
hit
you
the
can
next
show
turn?
that. You
No,
can
that-
show that.
On my end, that's not working for some
What?
reason. I think it's a glitch over here. So
What,
But yeah,
what I love about
I wanted to
about that
actually
glitch.
go. I basically wanted to go a bit further into Luke's joke of, like, you know, partnering with medieval empires. So obviously, because of the fact that we're heavily affiliated with this specific, you know, as mentioned, again, multi-billion-dollar company from Web 2, they do not want to dilute their IP. So what this means is that all of the IPs or all of the partners we will be working with will sort of have to essentially stay locked to Web 2.
Okay.
It's a healthy
it's
mix, I guess
exclusive.
you could call it.
So basically, exclusive that you have with them. The whole thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Got it.
But you know, we have Engin Altan, who is bigger than Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Wow.
Mhm.
There you
in
go.
Turkey.
No, like just Google Engin Altan. He's in the Guinness World Record book. That's
No
bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than
That's
Game of
cool.
Thrones.
Pretty cool.
Trust me,
There you
or
go.
Google it.
I was waiting for Luke
I always trust
to
you,
like,
Luke.
you know, end his thing so I could say congratulations on the shill.
Now I'm beating you up.
Oh wow, that attack was cool.
I don't know what I did over here, but I'm totally
Yeah, so
rocking it at
basically
the
this
moment.
is a bit of a weird interaction. So the Sense Leader is basically
Yeah.
a card which has Reflect. Now, what exactly is Reflect? Essentially, each time that specific card takes damage, it reflects the amount of taken damage back onto other random cards. So in this case, given the fact that we both had Sense Livers, you played your Freezing Terror on mine. Mine took 2 damage. It reflected back onto yours. Yours reflected back onto mine, and mine reflected back onto another one of our creatures. So it was a
That's
pretty
crazy.
funny interaction.
I thought you
basically.
said you weren't
Yeah.
gonna make it too complicated.
I
for
did that
people.
on purpose. Whatever you just said, I did that on purpose. I knew that this is going to happen, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your gameplay's improved dramatically, Luke. I like what you
Yeah.
did there. That was good.
yeah. Also, I can see what he's doing on his screen, even though I have no clue what he's doing
That's
over there.
perfect.
But,
Okay, maybe you
Think
can
it-
control it also.
The other thing that I wanted to ask about that I'm interested in is, you know, the kind of overall background. Are there going to be like other backgrounds, or have you already got other backgrounds that with, you know, the backdrops that the cards are on top
Yes, there's actually going to be plans for developing more of that, and they will all
Oh.
come as NFTs.
of? Awesome. That's pretty cool. I like it.
And this also goes back
Right.
into what I mentioned with, like, you know, everything in our game is an NFT. Card backs are NFTs, adventures are NFTs, Infernos are NFTs, the cards themselves are NFTs, emotes are NFTs as well. Like, you can actually trade your emotes also. Like, every single asset in the game
That's
is
cool.
going to be an NFT.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
That emote that came up as well. I don't know if you recall the Star Wars movie where you've got Jabba the Hutt and he opens the thing at the bottom. That's exactly what that looks like. It's really cool. That's what it
I thought he
reminds me
looks
of.
like Slimer.
Yeah, a little bit as well, definitely. Look, you've got one of the right people on, because I'm that kind of geeky guy as well that loves these types of games and understanding more about them and the mechanics and how they work, as well as, you know, Call of Duty and Fortnite and things like that too. But I do actually have a genuine interest in these types of games. They're quite interesting.
So you like reading as well? Like
No,
understanding
definitely
all
not. I use Audible. I use Audible for that. I haven't got time to read. I just let
Yeah.
it go into my ears instead.
So this is actually a pretty funny thing about myself. I graduated literature. I was actually a literature student.
Ah, okay.
And now I don't remember the last day when I actually read. I actually use Audible.
So, but this is what I love. This is what I love about like not understanding where things are going to go for you in life. It's like you were a literature student and now you're showcasing a Web3 game. Like, how do you fit those two things together? Yes, it's your passion. You enjoy it. You love it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long?
Cool.
How long can this game last? Like,
Well, technically speaking, it can last until we both run out of cards, or either of us, decides to randomly disappear from live on stream.
Give up. Gives up.
Medieval Empires fan page needs to run some errands, so they disappear. Ciao to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I will not disappear. I will stay here until you need to go and leave or something like this. But I also randomly accept whatever comes into my wallet over here because I don't know what to do with it. But
Oh dear.
yeah,
I think you're doing amazing, Luke. Really.
Yeah, it looks good, right? Why did I attack something right now and it just reflected back to me and I just died?
It was,
Like
I think
again,
it was the sand
is there a spell
slither
on
again.
The sand slither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually another effect. Do you see this fart cloud on your cards and mine?
Fart
That's
cloud.
basically
Is that the
it's
technical
basically
term?
Fart cloud. Fart
Well,
cloud.
it's not the official term, by the way.
It is now. Well, now it's public
It
information.
is. Yeah,
Fart
exactly.
But yeah, essentially, this green stinking thingy with flies and stuff, it's called
Yeah.
plague. So what plague does is that whenever you attack with one of your played cards, it deals 2 damage to itself. So if I, for example, attack with my Fury of Fire with my Phoenix right now, it attacks and it dies because it takes 2 damage from the
okay.
plague.
So in that
And-
circumstance, would it be better to just not play that turn?
It depends.
Uh-huh.
It depends on how you actually want to utilize your card. So, for example, I have my roaming mountain right now, right? It's plagued and it's on 2 health. If I were to attack with it right now, it would die. But the thing with the roaming mountain is that it has both fortitude and feel no pain. What that means is that feel no pain does it so that it cannot take more than 2 damage a turn from direct attacks, except for spells. But at the same time, fortitude makes it so it cannot be damaged by cards that deal less than 4 damage. So it forces the opponent to have cards that deal more than 4 damage. At the same time, it locks them at only being able to deal 2 damage. So it's essentially an unkillable wall as long as the opponent doesn't have spell damage and he doesn't have essentially anything to batter through it. So that's the type of situation where you don't want to attack with a plagued card.
Yeah, I get you. Makes sense.
Why don't I have the fart stuff on mine?
That's the thing now, isn't it? The fart cloud. I love that.
Yeah.
Don't. That's the last thing you want to do. Don't burn a card when the fart clouds are on. You'll have
I thought if I burn this, I can place this, but I didn't count to 3. I just counted to 2.
I was like, why did you burn that?
Just wanted to see if someone in the community sees it. By the way, if the guys that are watching, we will give away 1 stream code where you can play the game as well if you like and retweet. It will not go to Osmos.
That's a shame. Well, I can't play it anyways. Can't play it anyways on my Mac.
Yeah. Right now it's just on Windows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only on Windows right now. So we actually tried essentially making it available on Mac OS also, and it's an absolute dev hell. It's almost impossible making games to work on on Mac OS. This is also one of the reasons for which people who own MacBooks have a tendency that whenever they want to play games, they just install Windows, because MacBooks
That's what I
are
told
just
Rasmus
very
earlier.
unfriendly.
Put a Windows partition on there, and then you can still play the games. Because we played, I think Star Heroes was the same, right? You couldn't play that.
No, I couldn't play that either. But I mean, it's a pretty common thing, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Is Project Lambo playable on Mac?
We are playable on mobile or via an emulator on Windows, so no, it's not available on Mac. But if you think about it, it's an app on the iOS store. You would be able to use it on Mac, but it's not on Mac OS X. If you get where I'm coming from, because if you if you think any of the sort of MacBooks and iPads, if you can install the application, you can play the game. So we've kind of got to work around.
Yeah, I think I would just play this.
I just silent sneezed. That was wild. I didn't have time to mute my microphone. I got away with it.
Go Pikachu. No,
the plague is there again.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh,
I cannot do anything against the fart stuff there. And I also don't have cards enough. What is the
you have all the cards
now
on the field?
Each time an opponent creature enters the board, returns the most points.
Wait, that was extremely annoying.
That was something I was going to ask as well. If I'm playing this and I can see my opponent's cards, am I able to click on the opponent's cards to actually understand more about what they do?
You actually don't have to click on them. You can just hover your mouse over them. Like right now, for example, I'm hovering my mouse over his Pestilence monster, and it says what it does. Like it applies to Misfortune and Plague. It says that it does that at the end of its turn. It says that Plague, essentially, Plague targets suffer 2 damage each time they attack. Misfortune, the creature's attack is half for each Misfortune applied. And yeah, it literally says everything that it does. And it's the same for relics, which are basically essentially weapons. And yeah, it says what the Vortex Helmet does. So that's how it works.
And you were saying everything is NFTs, so all of the relics are NFTs as well?
Yeah, so the relics are cards. They're just normal cards. They're part of the card pack. So yeah, they are tradable as well.
Cool.
I have 2 life left.
Yeah, I could have actually killed you there, by the way.
Just 1 card.
You can do it. You can do it, Luke.
He's toying with you. He's toying with you, Luke.
Now I have Aether, but I cannot use it because I don't have any.
I don't have anything to play.
I just attack you there, so I can say I at least put your hero down a little bit, so it doesn't look that stupid on my side over here.
Have you actually even used your Gadress, by the way, like your Infernal?
My what?
Your
that's a no.
Lizard.
That's a no.
Have you used the lizard?
The cool lizard, yeah, I clicked on that, yeah, and it gave me a card or 2, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah. I was like, I wasn't really sure if you actually used it.
Yeah.
But you have a different lizard, so it has a different special move.
Yeah, I have the shitty lizard, and he has the strong lizard. Look on my side; it's not doing anything. On his side, it's the cool one. So
I see.
Now I'm sharing his one. Then pretend that's me. I won. He lost. God damn it. Yeah, I suck at those kind of games. I basically suck at every game. So
it's okay.
But DC also need understanding of what everything does and the strategy behind it. So it always takes time to get into these things.
As I said, it requires reading, and I'm bad at reading.
Yeah.
So
it's not
there's one issue with Web3 in general. We don't know how to read.
Yeah, we're all dyslexic, right? Over here it says victory right now, right? This thing where it says the fiat, that's victory.
I like
Spanish.
that. The
fiat. That's Spanish for victory.
The fiat.
Every game that I played. No, we play full show. I'm still unbeaten in Fortnite. By the way,
there you go. Yeah,
100% win streak on Fortnite. So at least one thing.
I wouldn't be flexing that I'm winning against 12-year-olds.
No. Those were
Right. This
the
was
12-year-olds
these
are
were
better.
12-year-olds. And that's the thing. You've got to realize some of these younger people are so talented. And you know, you've got to remember how we grew up. Okay. We had one joystick and a button. Yeah. That's what up, down, left, right, and hit that button. These kids are like playing with God knows how many buttons, and they're just insanely talented. And we're trying to catch up and, you know, pretend like we can still play video games like they can, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's basically like, you know, your time is over, old man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Yeah.
So in order to play the game, what I already forgot what I was doing in order to play it, but it's on the Epic Games, right? Epic
It's
Games
on the
Store.
Epic Games Store, yeah. And as mentioned, we were actually on Steam as well, but we were on Steam just as a test run, just to see how integration with Steam works, how the general, like, you know, Web2 public actually perceives the game, and then we actually delisted ourselves. The main reason for which we actually delisted ourselves from Steam was also because of the fact that, as mentioned, we have the game development rights of this multi-billion-dollar company, and we will be developing a campaign mode for them. So once we actually have that campaign mode running, we plan on doing a very, very big Web2 marketing campaign. And that's the type of, like, you know, time frame during which relisting on Steam makes a lot of sense.
That's cool.
Got you.
Can I put that here and back to tab? No, I'm stupid over here. How do I get it? Like, full screen. That's the dragon that I had.
That's the dragon.
Check that out.
Oh my god.
I like the trailer over here. That's cool.
So this is
Yeah,
let me actually give you the story behind this trailer. When we came into the market in 2021, we were not Aether Games. We were actually called Gates of Eternity. What you're watching right now is the trailer from Gates of Eternity. By the way, this whole trailer is full CGI. Like, even the guy you're watching right now, that's not a real actor. That's fucking made on computer. that just as a fun fact.
I was expecting it, to be honest, but
yeah,
like, it doesn't look
still-
like a 100% real person. Gates of Eternity. Now that's why you said that up front.
Yeah. So the context behind that is that, as mentioned, when we came into the market in 2021, our idea was that we were going to be a singular title, and that singular title would have been Gates of Eternity. Gates of Eternity was basically meant to be a Pokemon Go type game, an AR game, and essentially, like, you know, a dark fantasy setting with, like, you know, demons and dragons and fairies and God knows what else. And you go around, you know, your neighborhood and you collect monsters. So that was the idea behind it. Now the problem is that we realized, by looking at, like, you know, statistics and metrics, if we were to have released Gates of Eternity, we would have had no chance against Pokemon Go. And I'm saying this as us being a team that has worked with the Pokemon IP. Like, our director of CGI has actually made some very famous CGI short films for Pokemon, and it made us realize, if we go as a Pokemon Go competitor from the Web3 perspective, we're never gonna stand a chance against them. Like, Pokemon Go just absolutely dominates the AR field. They have like 90% of the market share. Everyone that's trying to compete with Pokemon Go doesn't have the slightest chance of ever, like, even scratching the surface of where they are. So they make any sense. And as a result of that, we basically decided, okay, we're going to be rebranding. We're going to be, like, you know, expanding. We're going to be a full-on game studio. And instead of, like, you know, going for, you know, Pokemon Go competition, we're actually going to make a card game, because card games are very easy to make. They're very cost efficient. Our team has very heavy expertise when it comes down to developing card games. So it was just a very, you know, good solution. And Gates of Eternity, essentially, we recycled assets that we had. This is also the reason for which you see Gadress in our Gates of Eternity trailer, like every single asset you're seeing in our game right now in our universe is interoperable between our different titles. So by owning a Genesis Eternal NFT, for example, you will be able to use the Eternal in-game in Aether TCG. But when Gates of Eternity also comes out, you will also be able to utilize that NFT in different formats inside of that game title also. So this is
That's
also
very
like,
nice.
the interoperability system
Yeah.
that everyone
That's cool.
speaks about in Web3 and no one actually uses. But
When you say in different formats, can you just divulge a little bit further for us there? So,
will there be a movie?
So this is actually a bit ambiguous for very specific reasons, and that being that it really depends on what Gates of Eternity will actually be. This is what I actually want to continue with as well. Gates of Eternity right now is essentially on hold because we are remaking it. It's not going to be, as I stated previously, an AR competitor to Pokemon Go. We're very likely going to remake it into potentially an RTS. We're not even sure. It really depends on what would make most sense. What would make more sense for, like, from a publisher perspective as well. We are in talks with the Warner Brothers right now. They're very happy with what we have been developing. So very likely going to have a publishing deal from Warner Brothers. And it obviously comes down to what would make most sense for Gates of Eternity to become. We have the assets. We can build anything we want. Obviously not an MMORPG, because that's like, if we want to start talking about, we also had the ideas of actually starting development of an MMORPG. Like, we always joke about this. Let's make an Aether MMORPG. Everyone would like it. We have a series coming, like, imagine the hype. And then we're like, oh yeah, but remember, if you want to build an MMORPG, you need $500 million. And we do not have $500 million yet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but
That's fair.
Will it also? So, is it on the phone already, or?
Well, I mean, Gates of Eternity was meant to be on the phone, but again, it depends on what it actually ends up being. But yeah, this trailer we still keep because it showcases how talented our art department is.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Very nice.
Looking forward to what comes out of it. Is there, like, especially if there's a series behind it? I think lore is something that like true gamers always look for. For example, Star Atlas with their comic book and everything that they have behind, or like every successful game. Like, look at The Witcher. Like, The Witcher is a game, a series, a book, and then you have this awesome dude with his big muscles. What's his name? Superman. Like, so I think it just matches. That looks nice. I think also the characters from time to time, like this one here, looks a little bit like World of Warcraft. So there are lots of cool things that you can put in there. And yeah, guys, any more questions?
No, I think I got a pretty full understanding.
Just to throw it out there, obviously, with what you were planning to do, with the potential kind of Pokemon Go, but not now, and having the assets that you've already got, you've got the card game, which I think looks great, by the way, and I think that the lore is very smart as well. But with augmented reality and all of the different things that you've got as NFTs, and you were building on mobile anyway, do you think it would be quite cool to have some of these characters that you can interact with from an AR perspective?
Oh my god!
Just from an NFT.
God. You're gonna hate me for saying this. We had that.
Go on.
We had an app developed for exactly that. Like, you could actually, like, every single one of your Eternal NFTs, you could actually view in real life, and you could actually
interact
use
with
that app
them.
to see how heavy the details actually were. They actually looked almost real. And this is also really funny. Like, Corvun is actually one of the cards in our game. In Aether TCG, it's basically called Destroyer of Realms. It's a legendary card, but he's basically supposed to be like, as big as the Empire State's Building. And imagine viewing that in an AR app. But the problem is that
that'd be
no
crazy.
one really used the app. So we produced it. It was usable. It was fully functional, but no one was using it. So we kind of removed it. We can bring that back when it makes more sense.
Yeah, you've got a multi-billion-dollar, company, and you've got Illuvium come in, and you've got this new game. You're not sure which direction you're going in yet, which is a great position to be in. You guys obviously know what you're doing. You've been around for a long time, got the pedigree, you're agile, you can pivot. But I do believe that the future of interaction with gaming, AR and VR, are going to be big.
Is AR.
They are.
Yeah, this is exactly the
sure.
same thing we said. This is also exactly the reason for which we developed the AR app.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, we have it ready. We have it usable. It's just a matter of bringing it back if there's interest.
Yeah, I get it.
When there's going to be enough interest, and this will very likely come back with our series release, because people will just actually want to interact with the different creatures from our universe.
Yes.
That's very likely going to be the correct time for us to bring the AR app back.
Sounds good.
Particle Ink, for example, I have their NFT in where I can put it on my phone, and then I can let it run over my desk and everything over here.
Yeah, that's literally how we had ours as well.
Oh, yeah. That is nice. Like, they don't have a game yet. They're building a game around it, but that's really cool. I love that things. And later on, you will not have it on your phone. You will have it on the glasses and then run around.
Yeah.
And most likely my son was coming here and said, like, oh, there's a Aether dragon in your corner. I need to catch it. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he will know and I don't know what's happening over here. But yeah, definitely cool. By the way, Rasmus, I muted you because you're destroying your keyboard again. Over there. So if you want to say something, you need to unmute yourself.
I apologize.
No worries.
I didn't feel like I was slamming it that hard, though.
You were like, what the fuck are you typing over here? Like, so aggressive.
That's interesting. Yeah. I even have my keyboard isn't that noisy.
It's got heavy fingers or a very sensitive microphone. It's one of the
exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure streaming with you guys. Tomorrow we have also New Era of Gaming, where most of you guys will join as well. It's 1 p.m. CET, which is 12 UTC. Then afterwards, there's also Marcello's space happening at 5 p.m. Friday. We have Funcho playing Fortnite Frenzies. Then, yeah, so lots of stuff coming. Excited to see more of you guys then. You also join our space, you said, every week now, because that's how it's supposed to be. This week we have Gas Hero, which is pretty cool as well. I played that last week, I think, or the week before. Now I'm addicted to that one. That's easier to understand because there's not much reading. Yeah. So yeah, happy to always have you back on the stream. We can do something cool together. And maybe if we have a Web 2 element thing only, we will. I'm interested in see what IP you bring in. I will Google now. I don't know. I thought maybe Funcho already had found it somewhere and could leak it now, but I don't see it somewhere.
I can't be stepping on toes here. It's not my game.
Normally that's Rasmus's game, right? Rasmus is the one supposed to leak all this shit over here.
Hey, but I mean, this is actually pretty fun. Didn't I tell you which IP we have during a meeting? I'm pretty sure we had a meeting and I told you what IP it is.
Yeah, you did. Oh, damn it.
So it's public information. Semi-public information.
That's what the guys also said. Public info is public info. So no, okay. We will stay on the call right now. Once we end the live stream, then he will tell us, and then I will leak it afterwards as well. So
Medieval Empire's fan page is clearly a financial advisor.
So this is pretty funny. I'm not really sure if you were still essentially in the AMA yesterday during the X-Borg fireplace. But Jens actually said exactly the reason for which leaking this is not a good idea. So the guy that's actually, at the forefront of this IP is a very, very famous lawyer. And you don't want to fuck with the legal people. The legal people, they're not nice people.
That's why I have Rasmus. He's the one dealing with all that stuff.
Exactly.
I will tell him, and don't tell him that he's not supposed to tell anyone, and then he just leaks it, and everyone will be like, that's Rasmus. That's fine.
Yeah, I can't.
Plus,
I don't know any better.
I think it would be fun as well to actually understand how powerful all of our legal advisors are for our projects. So, you know, why not?
Let's test
Exactly.
it. Now's
Let's
the
see
time.
what they can do. That's
Yeah.
great. A game in a game.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Okay, thanks guys for joining. Also, thanks to Funcho, Rasmus, Dreadsong. We will do that more often now. Every week we will pick a game and let the BD marketing manager, CEO, or whoever joins beat me in their own game, which is a shame. But maybe I find someone that sucks at gaming as well.
I suck at gaming,
right
but I
here.
can't play.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about, Luke. When we come on and play, I actually think you might beat me because you're a big Zelda fan, and I'm like, no, he can't speedrun this faster than me.
You know what? I would speak with Mixmob. I want to have Mixmob on here as well because they have a Mario Kart kind of thing where you can bet.
That is cool.
Gamble,
if you remember,
gamble.
Yeah, we had them. They were the ones that I said they should have partnerships with everyone so we can bet and mix mob with all the other games. So I will force them to come here. So because that's the only game that I'm good at, Zelda, Mario Kart. I played Flight Force 4 yesterday, like the test flight thing. Like it took me forever to give someone a headshot. Like it was sitting there shooting, and then didn't realize how to reload. I mean, smart people would say, press the air button. I needed to check first what to press. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Like I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you tomorrow. New era of gaming. Otherwise, see you on the other spaces. Thanks for tuning in, and you guys can stay because normally every time I say we end the stream, everyone leaves, but we can stay. And see you around, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good one. Bye.
Cheers.